I tolerate all kinds of expressions and uses of language from others, no matter how offensive it may be, because language is a means of conveying one's feelings. However, I make it my policy to avoid the use of inappropriate speech, at least in public. And I think my family would agree that I seldom use it in private as well. But for the sake of this illustration, which you may have heard before, I will need to employ the word damn. Here goes. A priest and his parishioner were out golfing one day when it became obvious to the priest that his companion was inexperienced at this sport. For it took him several swings at the ball before he finally hit it. And with each miss, he would shout, "Damn it, I missed." Well, after several holes, the priest finally grew so frustrated with his foul expressions that he felt beside himself and said, "Young man, if you utter that word again, I pray that God will strike you dead." The parishioner apologized and promised that he wouldn't say it again. And for a while, he tried hard to stick to this promise. But eventually, his ineptitude got the best of him, and as he once again swung and missed the ball, shouting this time at the top of his lungs as he slammed the club to the ground, he said, "Damn it, I missed." The sunny day turned dim. A dark cloud appeared in the sky and hovered directly over them. Suddenly, lightning bolted from the cloud and struck the priest. As the cloud faded, a startled parishioner heard a heavenly voice say, "Damn it, I missed." Now, my faith is such that I don't think prayer should be used for destroying lives. The example of prayer Jesus offers is one where we seek our basic needs for survival, our daily bread, so as not to squander God's resources by denying others their basic needs as well. The parable of the persistent widow, who badgered incessantly the unjust judge to comply with her need for justice, most likely reflects the role Jesus felt religious institutions of his day should assume in responding to the desperate needs of the wounded world in which he lived. A world where the divisions between the haves and have-nots were constantly in your face, stark and disturbing. The parable may have, in fact, reminded Jesus of his own upbringing, in which his father, Joseph, may have died abandoning his mother, Mary, to a patriarchal hegemony where women and orphans had little or no control. Now, we should pray to God for whatever is on our minds. But the priorities of prayer are first, that we acknowledge God as the spiritual source and origin from which all things come. Secondly, that we seek the realization of God's realm in visible, tangible ways among us, on earth as it is in heaven. And thirdly, that we be nourished and sustained with the basic needs that enable us to embody God's goodness and realm with a sense of compassion, justice, and forgiveness that leads us not into temptation and saves us from the temptation of our lesser, more sinister selves. But in truth, as Jacob wrestled through the night with the angel in the wilderness, we wrestle with our own wilderness angels of faith and believing. not knowing what we think about God or if there is a God, venturing aimlessly down self-destructive paths, constantly missing the divine mark, and by doing so, prompting the voice of God to say, damn it, I missed. As faith, any faith in a God of love is one in which God will never have ultimate control or sway over our lives. For love involves relinquishing control, enabling us to freely seek and discover the abode of God in each of us. Prayer is first, acknowledging God in whatever way or experience as the infinite, uncreated origin of all life in general, and your life in particular. Prayer is secondly, the means by which we may imagine God's realm among us on earth. And thirdly, prayer is the spiritual food and drink by which we are nourished and sustained to embody and achieve God's realm of goodness, justice, compassion, and peace. Answered prayer is potentially alive and present all around us, in everyone and everything, when we stop squandering God's resources and denying others their basic needs. Only by assuming the character of divine, persistent, and prayerful humility will we then be able to ask, trusting that it shall be given, to seek knowing that we shall find, and to knock, confident that the door will be opened to us. That is what prayer is all about. Amen.